Two rookie cops see a black man walking alone. They burst out laughing. "Holy shit, Tyler! A black man in Maple Ridge at midnight." Danny Harmon kills the engine. "Christmas came early." He steps out, flashlight aimed like a gun. "Hey, the black guy, hands up. This is where millionaires live, not people who look like you." Byron Coleman stops, raises both hands. 62 years old, voice steady. "Good evening, officers. I live here, 4512 Maple Drive, 25 years. Tyler howls. "He says he lives here. A black man in Maple Ridge." Danny steps closer. "ID now, or I'll assume you're what you look like, a thug in the wrong neighborhood." "I left my wallet at the restaurant." "Of course you did," Danny laughs. Another broke black man with an excuse. 200 yards away, Chief Patricia Reyes drops her champagne glass. The city's top cop sees everything through the window. She kicks off her heels, starts running. Who is Byron Coleman? The two rookie cops standing in front of him have no idea. They see an old black man in casual clothes. They see a target. They see an easy arrest to brag about later. They don't see 30 years on the federal appeals court. They don't see over 10,000 cases decided. They don't see the judge who other judges call when they need advice. Byron Coleman has sent corrupt cops to prison. He's overturned wrongful convictions that stole decades from innocent men. He's written opinions that changed the course of American law. 6 years ago, he ruled on a landmark police accountability case. The decision was controversial. The police unions hated him. But the ruling changed department policy in 12 states. New training, new oversight, new consequences for misconduct. The two officers standing in front of him right now, Danny Harmon and Tyler Briggs, they were trained under the new policies his ruling created. They're about to violate every single one. Tonight, Byron Coleman doesn't look like a federal judge. He wears a polo shirt, khakis, comfortable loafers. He left his 35th anniversary dinner just 10 minutes ago. Rosario's on Main Street, the best Italian food in the city. Margaret looked beautiful in her blue dress. 35 years of marriage, and he still can't believe she chose him. She took the car home. He wanted to walk. 15 minutes through the quiet streets. Clear his head. Enjoy the summer air. His wallet sits on the restaurant table right now, forgotten in the goodbye hugs with the owner, who knows them by name. His phone rests on the kitchen counter at home. He wanted one night unplugged, one night without emails, one night without case files, one night. That's all he asked for. Now two rookie cops stand between him and his front door, 50 feet away. The house he's owned for 25 years. The house where he raised his son Nathan. The house where his grandchildren visit every Sunday. Meanwhile, Chief Patricia Reyes sprints through the darkness. She's the first Latina police chief in this city's history. 28 years on the force. She started as a patrol officer, worked her way up through every rank. Detective, sergeant, lieutenant, captain, deputy chief, and finally, the top job. It wasn't easy. The department wasn't kind to women, wasn't kind to Latinas. She fought for every promotion, bled for every opportunity. 15 years ago, when she was still a sergeant, she testified in a civil rights case. Her own department tried to silence her. Her own colleagues threatened her career, but she told the truth anyway. One judge believed her. One judge saw through the lies and the intimidation. Byron Coleman. He ruled in her favor, saved her career, made it possible for her to become who she is today. She's never forgotten his face, and she just recognized it through that window, 200 yards away, being harassed by two of her own officers. Her lungs already burn. Her bare feet slap against the pavement. Blood from a cut on her heel leaves a trail behind her. She doesn't know if she'll make it in time, but she knows one thing with absolute certainty. Those two rookies have no idea what they've started. Danny Harmon circles Byron Coleman like a shark who's smelled blood in the water. He's enjoying this. You can hear it in his voice. The swagger, the confidence, the absolute certainty that he's in control. So let me get this straight, Grandpa. Danny shines his flashlight directly into Byron's eyes. You're telling me, with a straight face, that you live in Maple Ridge, in $1 million house, and you just happen to forget your wallet at some fancy restaurant. Byron keeps his hands raised, keeps his voice level. That's correct, officer. Rosario's on Main Street. The owner's name is Giuseppe Martinelli. I've known him for 15 years. You can call him. He'll confirm everything. Call him. Danny snorts. You hear that, Tyler? He wants me to make phone calls to verify that some random black guy actually lives in the richest neighborhood in the city. Tyler Briggs laughs from his position near the patrol car. He hasn't stopped recording since they pulled up. His phone captures everything. Maybe he's the help, Tyler offers. You know, gardener or something, pool boy, one of those. Is that it? Danny steps even closer, close enough that Byron can count the pores on his face. You work for someone around here? Clean their gutters, wash their cars, scrub their toilets? Byron's jaw tightens, but his voice stays calm. 62 years of practice. 62 years of encounters just like this one. In stores, in restaurants, on sidewalks, in parking lots. Every black man in America knows this dance. I'm a resident of this neighborhood, officer. I've paid property taxes here for 25 years. I've served on the Homeowners Association. I've attended every block party. My wife Margaret and I host the annual 4th of July barbecue in our backyard. 4th of July barbecue. Danny mimics his tone, mocking, dripping with contempt. Listen to this guy, Tyler. He's really committed to the bit. Got the whole fantasy worked out. Wife named Margaret, block parties, barbecues. Maybe he's been casing houses for a while, Tyler suggests. Learned all the details, trying to fit in. That's probably it. Danny nods. Smart criminal. Stupid enough to get caught, though. A porch light flicks on across the street, then another, then 3 more. Faces begin appearing in windows, curtains pulled aside. The commotion has drawn attention. Mrs. Eleanor Whitfield steps onto her porch. 78 years old, silver hair, ramrod posture. The widow of Senator Charles Whitfield, who served 3 terms before his death 8 years ago. She's lived next door to the Colemans for 18 years. She's watched Nathan grow from a college student to a successful civil rights attorney. She's held Margaret's hand at charity events. She's sat on Byron's porch drinking iced tea and discussing Supreme Court decisions. She knows exactly who those officers have stopped, and her heart drops into her stomach. She wants to march over there and scream his title. Tell those arrogant young men that they've just made the worst mistake of their lives, that they're harassing a federal judge, that their careers are about to end. But something stops her. Experience. Wisdom. She's seen what happens when men like Danny Harmon are challenged publicly. Their pride takes over. They escalate. They get violent. So she does something smarter. She pulls out her phone, holds it up, makes sure they can see the red recording light, and she waits. Because through her window, she saw Patricia Reyes sprinting from the Henderson house. Help is coming. Eleanor just needs to buy time. Back on the sidewalk, Danny is getting impatient. He reaches for his radio. Unit 52. This is Officer Harmon. I've got a suspicious individual on Maple Drive. Black male, mid-60s, no identification, refusing to cooperate with lawful orders, requesting backup. Refusing to cooperate. Byron has answered every question calmly and completely. He's offered to provide his name, his address, his social security number. He's offered to walk them to his house 50 feet away. But the lie is now on the record. Transmitted to dispatch, logged in the system, official. I'm not refusing anything, officer. Byron keeps his hands high, keeps his voice steady. I've told you my name, Byron Coleman. I've told you my address, 4512 Maple Drive. I've offered to walk you to my front door where my wife Margaret can confirm everything. Walk you to your house? Danny laughs, sharp, ugly. So you can run? So you can grab a weapon? So you can call your drug dealer friends for backup? What kind of fool do you think I am? I think there's been a misunderstanding. The only thing I understand is this. Danny steps so close that Byron can smell the coffee on his breath, can see the cruelty in his eyes. I don't care what story you've rehearsed. I don't care what fantasy you've cooked up in your head. I don't care what lies you've got ready. He lowers his voice, a whisper, just between them, except his body camera is recording every word. Black men don't belong in neighborhoods like Maple Ridge. Not at midnight, not at noon, not ever. You people should stick to your own kind, your own neighborhoods, your own side of town. Byron looks at him, calm, steady, unbroken. Officer, I want you to remember this moment. Danny grins, wide, confident. Oh, I will, old man. Trust me. I'm going to tell this story for years. The night I caught some uppity black guy pretending to be rich. He has no idea that those words are being recorded. No idea that this moment will indeed be remembered, in courtrooms, in news broadcasts, in history books. No idea that 150 yards away, a woman in a torn dress is running faster than she's ever run in her life. Her feet are bleeding, her lungs are screaming, her legs are burning. But she's getting closer, every second. Not yet. Not yet. Please, not yet. Danny Harmon has made his decision. The games are over. All right, Grandpa. Fun's over. Turn around. Put your hands on the vehicle. Byron doesn't move. Officer, you haven't articulated any reasonable suspicion of a crime. You have no legal basis for— I said turn around! Danny's hand drops to his taser. His finger hovers over the trigger. Do it now or I will light you up like a Christmas tree. Byron Coleman looks at the taser, looks at Tyler's phone, still recording, looks at the neighbors' windows filling with worried faces, looks at Mrs. Whitfield on her porch, phone raised. He makes a calculation. A calculation every black man in America has made at some point. Resist and risk being shot. Comply and survive. He turns, places his palms flat on the cold hood of the patrol car. Danny holsters his taser, approaches from behind. The pat-down begins, rough, invasive. Hands digging into every pocket, squeezing, probing, taking far longer than necessary, far more aggressive than any policy allows. No wallet, no phone, no ID. Danny sounds almost gleeful, like a child who's found a new toy to break. Nothing but lies and excuses. My wallet is at Rosario's. My phone is on my kitchen counter. I can prove— Shut up. Danny reaches for his handcuffs. The metal glints in the streetlight. You have the right to remain silent. I suggest you use it. Click. The handcuff bites into Byron's left wrist. Cold, sharp, tight enough to hurt. Click. The right wrist. Judge Byron Coleman. 30 years on the federal appeals court, over 10,000 cases decided, the man whose rulings changed police policy in 12 states, stands handcuffed on his own street, 50 feet from his front door, where Margaret is waiting with a cup of decaf, where his grandchildren's drawings hang on the refrigerator, where 35 years of memories fill every room. Tyler, get over here. You're gonna want to see this. Tyler approaches, phone still raised, but now he switches to the front camera. Selfie mode. Danny puts his arm around Byron's shoulders. Casual, friendly, like they're old buddies at a barbecue. Smile for the camera, Grandpa. Flash. The photo captures everything. Two grinning young officers in uniform, one 62-year-old black man in handcuffs, dignified even now, unbroken even now. "Oh, that's perfect!" Danny grabs Tyler's phone, studies the image. "This is going in the group chat immediately." What should I caption it? Danny thinks for a moment, then grins. "Caught this black guy pretending to live in Maple Ridge. Another one bites the dust." Something like that. Tyler is already typing, already adding emojis, laughing faces, celebration icons. The boys are gonna love this. Jenkins owes me $20. He said we wouldn't catch anyone good tonight. They laugh together, loud, mocking. The sound echoes down the quiet suburban street, bounces off the million-dollar homes, fills the summer air with ugliness. Danny grabs Byron's arm. Rough. "All right, Grandpa. Time for a ride downtown. You can call your imaginary lawyer from the station." They march him toward the patrol car. Tyler opens the back door. The cage where suspects sit. "Watch your head, old man. Wouldn't want you to hurt yourself before we get to booking." Danny's hand presses against Byron's back, starts pushing him toward the opening. "Officers, stop right there!" Mrs. Eleanor Whitfield marches across her lawn. 78 years old, but moving with the authority of a woman who once hosted senators in her living room. Danny pauses. Byron is half bent toward the car door. "Ma'am, this is police business. Step back or I'll arrest you for obstruction." "That man is my neighbor. I have known him for 18 years. His name is Byron Coleman, and he lives in that house right there." She points. The white colonial with blue shutters, 50 feet away, porch light on, front door visible. Danny doesn't even look. "Lady, everyone in rich neighborhoods knows everyone. That doesn't prove anything. He could be the help. He could be a stalker. He could be casing houses." "He is not a criminal. You are making a terrible mistake. A mistake you will regret for the rest of your career." "The only mistake I see is some old woman who doesn't know when to mind her own business." Danny turns back to Byron, pushes harder. "In you go." But Eleanor isn't finished. Through the corner of her eye, she sees movement. A figure sprinting down the street, bare feet, torn dress, getting closer with every second. She has to stall, just a little longer. "Officer, I am not finished speaking with you. I demand your badge number. I demand your supervisor's contact information. I am recording this entire interaction, and I will be filing a formal complaint." Danny groans, loudly, theatrically. "Jesus Christ! Tyler, deal with this crazy old bat." "Don't you dare call me that! And don't you dare touch me! I am Eleanor Whitfield, widow of Senator Charles Whitfield, and I will have your badge before sunrise." 100 yards away, 75, 50. Chief Patricia Reyes sees everything. The patrol car, the open door, Byron being forced inside, 30 yards. Her lungs are empty, her legs are finished, her feet leave bloody prints on the concrete. But she keeps running, 20 yards. Danny's hand presses Byron's head down toward the doorframe, or 10 yards. She fills her lungs with everything she has left, 200 yards. Chief Patricia Reyes has never run so fast in her entire life. Not in academy training, not in foot pursuits, not in any emergency in 28 years on the force. Her bare feet pound the pavement. Something sharp slices her heel early. Glass, maybe, or a jagged stone. Blood trails behind her with every step. She doesn't feel it. Doesn't care. There's no room in her mind for pain. Her dress tears at the hem. The expensive fabric she bought for Chief Henderson's retirement party. Ruined. It doesn't matter. 150 yards. She can see them now. The flashing lights of the patrol car. 2 officers in uniform. Someone standing between them with hands raised. No, not standing anymore, being pushed toward the car. It's him. She's certain now. Byron Coleman, the judge who saved her career. The judge who believed her when no one else did. The judge who made it possible for her to become who she is today, being arrested, on his own street, in front of his own home, 100 yards. Her lungs are on fire. Every breath is agony. But she pumps her arms harder, pushes her legs faster. She can hear voices now, raised, angry. That's Eleanor Whitfield, God bless her, arguing with the officers, demanding badge numbers, threatening complaints, buying time, precious seconds, 75 yards. She can see Byron's face now. Even from this distance, she can see his dignity, his composure, the way he holds himself even with hands behind his back. Cuffed. They actually cuffed him. Rage floods through her veins, hot, blinding. These are her officers, her department, her responsibility. 50 yards. One of the officers, the shorter one, Tyler, is trying to deal with Eleanor. The other one, Danny, the aggressive one, turns back to Byron. Enough of this circus. In you go. He pushes harder. Byron bends toward the open car door. 30 yards. Patricia's vision narrows. Everything else disappears. The houses, the streetlights, the neighbors watching from windows. Only the patrol car exists. Only Byron. Only this moment. Danny's hand presses on Byron's head, pushing it down, toward the doorframe. Standard procedure for putting a suspect in a vehicle. Except Byron isn't a suspect. He's a victim. 20 yards. She can see Danny's face now. Young, arrogant, grinning, enjoying every second of this. He has no idea. Byron's head is inches from the doorframe. One more second, and he disappears inside. One more second, and the door closes. One more second, and they drive away. 10 yards. Patricia's feet are screaming. Her legs are finished. Her lungs are empty. But she fills them anyway. Everything she has. Every year on the force. Every ounce of authority she's earned. Every bit of power that badge represents. She opens her mouth. The scream builds in her chest, rises through her throat, explodes into the night. Stop! That's a judge! 6 words, 1 breath, 1 explosion. The scream detonates across Maple Drive like a bomb going off. Not spoken, not shouted, screamed. Every syllable a thunderclap, every word a sledgehammer. Windows rattle in their frames, dogs up and down the street start barking. A car alarm triggers 3 houses away. The quiet suburban night shattered. Danny's hand drops from Byron's back like he's touched a live wire. Instinct. Pure animal instinct. The sound of absolute authority will do that to a man. The judge straightens, steps back from the car door, slow, deliberate, dignified even now. Especially now. Tyler's phone slips from his fingers, clatters on the pavement. The screen cracks on impact. He doesn't notice, doesn't care. His face has gone white as chalk. Neither officer moves, neither speaks, neither breathes. Every porch light on the street flicks on. 1, 2, 5, 10, 15. Faces appear in every window. Phones rise in every hand. Recording, witnessing, documenting. 1 second of absolute silence. The kind that comes after explosions. The kind that comes before reckoning. Chief Patricia Reyes stands 15 feet away. Her dress is torn. Her feet are bleeding. Her chest heaves with each desperate breath. But her voice is steel. That man is Judge Byron Coleman, Federal Appeals Court, 30 years on the bench. Danny's mouth opens, closes, opens again. No sound comes out. His brain is trying to process, trying to compute, failing. He told you his name. He told you his address, and you laughed. Tyler makes a sound, something between a whimper and a sob. The reality is starting to hit him. He lives in that house. She points. The white colonial with blue shutters, 50 feet away, porch light glowing. For 25 years. Silence. Crushing silence. Danny finally finds his voice. Barely. A whisper. Who are you? She reaches into the pocket of her torn dress, pulls out a badge. Gold. Heavy. The seal of the city catches the streetlight and gleams. I'm Chief Patricia Reyes. She lets that sink in. I'm your boss's boss's boss. Danny's knees buckle. He grabs the patrol car to keep himself upright. His face has gone from white to gray. He looks like he might vomit. Tyler is crying now. Actually crying. Tears streaming down his face, snot running from his nose. Oh God, oh God, oh God. He keeps saying it, over and over, a prayer to no one. Oh God, oh God. Chief Reyes walks past the frozen officers. They don't dare move, don't dare speak, don't dare breathe. She approaches Judge Byron Coleman, and for just a moment her voice softens. The steel gives way to something human. Your Honor, I'm so sorry. He looks at her, calm, composed, unbroken. 30 years of judicial dignity cannot be shattered by two ignorant young men. Chief Reyes, you have nothing to apologize for. I should have been faster. You were exactly fast enough. He glances at the open car door. The cage he almost disappeared into. 1 second later, and I'd have been inside that vehicle, driven to a station, processed like a common criminal, photographed, fingerprinted. He pauses. You saved me from that. Thank you. She nods, but the weight doesn't lift. These are her officers, her department, her failure. She turns back to Danny and Tyler. Her voice hardens again. Ice and authority. The chief of police addressing two men whose careers just ended. Get those cuffs off him now! Danny's hands shake so badly he can barely function. He reaches for his keys, drops them, picks them up, drops them again. The cuffs! Now! Chief Reyes's voice could cut through concrete. He finally manages to grip the key, walks toward Judge Coleman. His legs feel like rubber. His vision is swimming. This can't be happening. This can't be real. But it is. Click. The handcuff on the left wrist releases. Click. The right wrist. Judge Byron Coleman brings his hands forward, rubs his wrists slowly. Red marks are already forming, welts from metal that was too tight, applied by hands that were too rough. He stands straight, shoulders back, head high. Thank you, Chief Reyes. I'm sorry it took me so long, Your Honor. You arrived at exactly the right moment. I won't forget it. Chief Reyes turns to face her officers. Her officers. The words taste like ash in her mouth. Her voice carries down the entire street. Every window is lit now. Every phone is recording. Every neighbor is watching. This is being documented. This moment will never disappear. Do you have any idea what you've done tonight? Danny tries to speak. His voice comes out as a croak. Chief, we didn't know. He didn't say he was a... He told you his name. He told you where he lived. But he had no ID. So you cuffed him? She steps closer, gets in his face. You took selfies with him? You laughed at him? You called him a thug? You said black men don't belong in wealthy neighborhoods? Danny has nothing. There is nothing to say. I heard your radio call, Officer Harmon, refusing to cooperate. Judge Coleman answered every single question you asked, calmly, politely, completely. She leans closer. Your body camera was recording. Every word, every laugh, every racist comment. I wonder what Internal Affairs will think when they review it. Danny's legs give out. He catches himself on the patrol car, barely stays standing. Tyler sobs louder. I didn't mean... I was just... Danny said we should... save it. Chief Reyes pulls out her phone. Dials. The number for Internal Affairs is in her speed dial. She's never had to use it quite like this. This is Chief Reyes. I need the full IA team at 4512 Maple Drive. Immediately. Pause. She listens to the voice on the other end. 2 officers, wrongful arrest, assault. Filing a false police report, civil rights violations. Another pause. The voice asks a question. Yes. The victim is a federal appeals court judge, 30 years on the bench. Silence on the line. Absolute silence. You heard me correctly. Send everyone, now. She hangs up. Badges, weapons, on the hood of the car, both of you. Danny doesn't move. His brain has stopped processing. Now! His shaking hands reach for his badge, the medal he was so proud of, the authority he abused so freely. He unclips it, sets it on the hood. Clink. His service weapon follows, the gun he kept his hand near all night, the weapon he used to intimidate an innocent man. Tyler's badge. Clink. Tyler's weapon. 2 badges. 2 guns. 4 items that represent everything they worked for, everything they destroyed in 15 minutes of cruelty. You are both suspended without pay, effective immediately. You will surrender your department ID cards. You will not speak to anyone, about this incident. You will not contact Judge Coleman or any member of his family. You will not return to the station without explicit authorization. Am I clear? Danny whispers. So quiet it's barely audible. Yes, Chief. Tyler can barely speak through his sobs. Yes, Chief. She looks at them. 24 years old and 23 years old. 14 months on the force and 9 months on the force. Careers over. Futures destroyed. Lives ruined. By their own choices. Their own words. Their own actions. You had every opportunity to do the right thing tonight. Every single opportunity. Judge Coleman was calm. He was cooperative. He was respectful. She pauses. And you chose to mock him, to humiliate him, to arrest him, because he was black, in a wealthy neighborhood, at night. She steps back. Get out of my sight. Go home. Do not leave your residences. Wait for the call from Internal Affairs. They walk away. Walk slowly, shoulders slumped. Tyler still crying. Danny stumbling like a drunk. The street watches them go. Every eye, every phone, every witness. Mrs. Eleanor Whitfield finally lowers her phone. 8 minutes of continuous video. Every word captured. Got it all, Patricia. Every single second. Thank you, Eleanor. Chief Reyes exhales. The adrenaline is fading. The exhaustion is setting in. Thank you for stalling them. I saw you running. I knew you needed time. You gave it to me. You may have saved Judge Coleman's life tonight. Eleanor looks at Byron, at the red marks on his wrists, at the dignity in his eyes. Some things are worth fighting for. The front door of the white Colonial opens. Margaret Coleman steps onto the porch. She sees her husband, sees the patrol car, sees the crowd, sees the blood on Chief Reyes's feet. She runs to him, throws her arms around him, holds him like she'll never let go. Byron! Byron! What happened? Are you okay? What did they do to you? He holds her back, pulls her close, buries his face in her hair. I'm fine, Margaret. I'm fine now. But he looks down at his wrists, at the marks that are already turning purple. The physical wounds will heal. The memory never will. Internal Affairs arrives in 32 minutes. Not the usual single investigator. A full team, 6 people, supervisors, senior investigators. The department's best. They know who the victim is. They know what's at stake. They know the entire country will be watching. Body cameras are collected and sealed in evidence bags. Cell phones are subpoenaed and surrendered. Witness statements begin immediately. Judge Byron Coleman sits on his own porch, finally home, finally safe. Margaret sits beside him, her hand in his. 35 years of marriage. She hasn't let go of him since she came outside. Their son Nathan arrives at 12:47 a.m. He drove 90 miles an hour from the city. Civil rights attorney, graduated top of his class at Yale Law, built his career on cases exactly like this one. He's never imagined he'd be building a case for his own father. "Dad!" He embraces him, long, tight. The hug of a son who almost lost his father tonight. "I'm so sorry." "It's not your fault, Nathan." "It's not yours either." Nathan's jaw is tight. His eyes are hard. This is the department's fault, the system's fault, and they're going to pay for it. Chief Reyes approaches the porch. Her feet are now bandaged. Someone brought her shoes, but she hasn't put them on. The pain keeps her focused. "Your Honor, I cannot apologize enough for what happened tonight." "Patricia, you have nothing to apologize for. You stopped it." "I should have been faster. I should have—" "You ran 200 yards, barefoot, in the dark. You arrived at exactly the moment that mattered." He pauses. 2 seconds later, I would have been inside that car, driven away like a criminal, photographed, fingerprinted, thrown in a holding cell. He looks at his wrists. "You saved me from that. That's what matters." Inside the mobile command unit parked on the street, the evidence begins to stack. Layer by layer, piece by piece. An avalanche building. Layer 1. Body camera footage. The lead investigator, Lieutenant Sarah Mitchell, watches Danny Harmon's camera first. She's been with Internal Affairs for 12 years. She's seen bad cops. She's seen corruption. She's seen abuse. She's never seen anything like this. A black man in Maple Ridge at midnight. Christmas came early. She watches Byron's response. Calm, cooperative, respectful. "Good evening, officers. I live here, 45-12 Maple Drive." She watches Danny laugh, watches Tyler laugh. She watches the pat-down. Far too long, far too aggressive. Violations of at least 4 department policies. She watches the handcuffs go on. Click, click, on a man who committed no crime. Then she reaches the whisper. Danny leaning close, his lips near Byron's ear. "Black men don't belong in neighborhoods like Maple Ridge. Not at midnight, not at noon, not ever. You people should stick to your own kind." Lieutenant Mitchell pauses the footage, turns to her team. "That's not just misconduct. That's a confession. Textbook racial discrimination. In his own words, on his own camera." The footage continues. The selfie setup. Danny's arm around the judge, both officers grinning at the camera. "Send that to the group chat. Caption it. Caught this black guy pretending to live in Maple Ridge." "That's evidence of intent," another investigator says. "Premeditated humiliation. Federal civil rights violation. This is going to the Justice Department." Layer 2. Tyler Briggs's phone. His phone is unlocked within minutes. The password was his birthday. Of course it was. The group chat is right there, open, undeleted, like they never imagined anyone would ever see it. The selfie appears at 10:58 p.m. Appears at 3 laughing emojis, a crying laughing face, a clapping hands icon. The responses start coming almost immediately. Other officers, other members of the department. "LOL, nice catch, bro. Teach him what happens when they wander into nice neighborhoods. Did he cry? They always cry. Make sure he remembers his place. That's what happens when you get uppity. One less thug on the streets tonight." Lieutenant Mitchell scrolls through the chat. Her face gets harder with every message. More photos, other stops, other black men in handcuffs, other trophies collected over months. Hey, got another one on 5th Street. Old guy. Kept saying he was a doctor. LOL, sure you are, buddy. Picked up this kid in Westwood. Dad supposedly owns a business. Yeah, right. In that neighborhood? Classic. Another black guy with a story. They all have stories. It's not just Danny and Tyler. It's 18 officers, hundreds of messages, months of documented racism, a culture, a system, a rot that goes deep. We're going to need a lot more warrants, Lieutenant Mitchell says quietly. Layer 3. Neighbor evidence. Mrs. Eleanor Whitfield's video runs 8 minutes and 37 seconds. Unbroken. Perfect audio. Wide angle that captures the entire scene. Danny's swagger. Tyler's phone. Byron's dignity. The cuffs going on. The selfie. The laughter. And then Chief Reyes sprinting into frame. Barefoot. Dress torn. Desperate. Stop! That's a judge! The scream is perfectly captured. The officers freezing. Danny's hand dropping. The moment the world shifted. Other neighbors submit their videos. 6 total. Multiple angles. Multiple confirmations. One captures Tyler's face when Chief Reyes shows her badge. Pure animal terror. Another catches Danny's legs buckling, his hand grabbing the car for support, unable to stand. A third shows the handcuffs being removed. The red marks on Byron's wrists. The dignity on his face. Undeniable. Uneditable. Everywhere. Layer 4. The paper trail. Restaurant receipt from Rosario's on Main Street. 9:48 p.m. Table for 2. 2 glasses of wine. Pasta primavera. Chicken piccata. Anniversary dinner for Mr. and Mrs. Coleman. Credit card statement. Byron Coleman. Confirmed. Home security footage from the Coleman residence. Byron leaving at 7:30 p.m. Returning at, well, he never made it inside. Phone records from the Coleman's landline. Byron's cell phone never left the house, just as he said. His wallet. Found by restaurant staff the next morning. Returned with apologies and a gift card for their next visit. 37 years of property tax records. Byron and Margaret Coleman. 45 on 12 Maple Drive. Voter registration. Driver's license history. 25 years of utility bills. Every claim verified. Every statement confirmed. Every word proven true. And every word Danny spoke proven to be a lie. By midnight, someone leaks. In the age of social media, secrets don't keep. By 6 a.m., it's national news. Federal judge arrested in front of own home. Rookie cops laughed, took selfies during wrongful arrest. Police chief sprints 200 yards barefoot to stop arrest. Stop, that's a judge. Video goes viral. The footage spreads like wildfire. 15 million views by noon, 30 million by evening, 50 million by the next morning. The selfie is everywhere. 2 grinning young officers with their arms around a dignified man in handcuffs. The image that will define this case. The image that will end their careers. The image that will change the department forever. Danny's face is identified within hours. Tyler's face shortly after. Names released by evening news. Their social media accounts go private. Far too late. Screenshots are everywhere. The group chat explodes across the internet. News organizations publish excerpts. Legal analysts dissect every message. Civil rights groups demand investigations. 18 officers in that conversation. Hundreds of racist messages. Photos of other victims. A pattern of abuse stretching back months. Internal Affairs expands the investigation. 6 more officers suspended within 48 hours. More suspensions coming. The police union attempts damage control. Their spokesman faces a wall of cameras and microphones. This was an isolated incident involving a small number of officers who do not represent. A reporter cuts him off. There are 18 officers in that group chat. Hundreds of messages celebrating discrimination. Dozens of photos of black citizens in handcuffs being mocked. How exactly is that isolated? The spokesman opens his mouth, closes it, opens it again. No answer. There is no answer. Chief Patricia Reyes holds a press conference the next morning. She stands at a podium with the American flag behind her, the city seal beside her, the weight of the moment on her shoulders. What happened to Judge Byron Coleman was a disgrace, a failure, a betrayal of everything this badge represents. She pauses, looks directly into the cameras. But it was not an isolated incident. It was a symptom, a disease we allowed to grow, a culture we failed to eradicate. Her voice hardens. That ends now, today, this moment. She outlines new policies, new training, new oversight, new consequences, zero tolerance. And she means it. Monday morning, 10 a.m., City Hall steps. Chief Patricia Reyes faces a forest of microphones. Cameras flash from every angle. The entire nation watches. Officers Daniel Harmon and Tyler Briggs have been terminated from this department. She lets the words hang in the air. They face charges including assault, false imprisonment, filing a false police report, and federal civil rights violations. The case has been referred to the United States Department of Justice for additional charges. Reporters shout questions. She ignores them. 6 additional officers have been suspended pending investigation into the group chat that celebrated discriminatory conduct. More suspensions are expected. She grips the podium, knuckles white. This department has zero tolerance for racism, zero tolerance for abuse of power, zero tolerance for betraying the public trust. These are not just words. These are policies, and they will be enforced. A reporter pushes through the crowd. Chief Reyes, can you describe what you personally witnessed that night? She pauses. The memory rushes back. The sprint, the scream, the horror on Danny's face when he realized what he'd done. I watched 2 officers humiliate a man who has dedicated 30 years of his life to justice. They laughed at him. They mocked him. They took photographs with him in handcuffs. They called him a thug. They said black men don't belong in wealthy neighborhoods. Her voice cracks. Just barely. Just for a moment. That man was Judge Byron Coleman, a federal appeals court judge, a pillar of this community, a man who has given his life to upholding the law. She steadies herself. He deserved better. Every citizen deserves better. And I will spend the rest of my career making sure they get it. 2 weeks later, a courtroom. The tables have turned. Danny Harmon and Tyler Briggs sit at the defense table. Wrong side of the bench now. They wear suits instead of uniforms. Their wrists are free, but their futures are not. The judge presiding is Honorable Catherine Wells, a colleague of Byron Coleman, assigned by random lottery. Justice is sometimes poetic. Bail is set, higher than their lawyers expected. Both make it, barely. Their families mortgage houses, empty savings accounts. Danny's lawyer attempts a defense. Your Honor, my client was simply following standard procedure for a suspicious... Judge Wells cuts him off. Cold. Final. What procedure includes taking selfies with a restrained suspect? What procedure includes calling a citizen a thug because of his skin color? What procedure includes posting photographs to a group chat to mock and humiliate? She leans forward. Save your arguments for trial, counselor, because I've seen the body camera footage. So has the entire world. Nathan Coleman files the civil lawsuit 3 days later. Federal court. Civil rights violations. He stands before reporters outside the courthouse. Tall, composed. His father's dignity. This lawsuit is not about money. It never was. This is about change. He holds up a photograph. The selfie. His father in handcuffs. 2 grinning officers. My father spent 30 years upholding the law, 30 years defending the Constitution, 30 years sending corrupt officers to prison and freeing innocent men. He folds the photograph carefully. One night, 50 feet from his own front door, the law failed him. The system he dedicated his life to failed him. His voice hardens. We're going to make sure it never fails anyone else. 1 month later. Community town hall, standing room only. People lined up outside an hour before the doors opened. Judge Byron Coleman takes the stage. The room falls absolutely silent. Every seat filled. Every eye on him. He stands at the podium, calm, dignified. The same man who stood on that sidewalk with his hands raised. I've been asked many times over the past few weeks what I want from all of this. Pause. I don't want revenge. I don't want those young men's lives destroyed, though they very nearly destroyed a piece of mine. Silence. What I want is simple. He leans into the microphone. I want the next 62-year-old black man walking home at night to make it to his front door. Unmolested, unquestioned, safe. Someone in the crowd starts crying. I want the next officer who sees him to pause, to think, to see a citizen, a neighbor, a father, a grandfather, a human being. His voice fills the room. Not a suspect, not a threat, not a target. He straightens. That's what I want. That's what we all deserve. The standing ovation lasts 5 minutes. 6 months later. Evening. Maple Drive. The same street. The same time. The same quiet suburban beauty. Judge Byron Coleman walks home. Alone. Enjoying the warmth of a summer night. The streetlights hum overhead. Crickets sing in the hedges. The same sounds as that night. But different now. Softer, somehow. Safer. A patrol car approaches, slows. Byron tenses. Just for a moment. 62 years of conditioning doesn't disappear overnight. The body remembers even when the mind tries to forget. But the window rolls down, and a young face appears. New officer, new uniform, new generation. Evening, Judge Coleman. He blinks. You know who I am? Everyone does, sir. She smiles. Genuine, warm, respectful. I just wanted to say, thank you. Thank you? For what? For how you handled it. The whole thing. My entire academy class studied your case. We watched the footage. We analyzed what went wrong, what should have happened differently. She pauses. You taught us what dignity looks like, what patience looks like, what real justice looks like, even when the system fails you, even when the people who should protect you become the threat. Byron studies her face. Young, earnest, hopeful. What's your name, officer? Martinez, sir. Angela Martinez. 4 months on the force. 4 months. He nods slowly. You've got a long career ahead of you, Officer Martinez. I hope so, sir. I'm going to try to do it right. Then remember this. He steps closer. His voice soft but certain. The voice of 30 years on the bench. The voice of 10,000 cases decided. The badge gives you power. Real power. Life and death power. He pauses. But power without respect is just violence waiting to happen. Never forget that. She nods, absorbing every word. I won't, sir. I promise you. I won't. A moment of silence. 2 strangers connected by history. Have a good night, Your Honor. You too, Officer Martinez. Stay safe out there. The patrol car pulls away. Byron watches it go. Then he keeps walking. His front door appears, the white colonial with blue shutters, the house he's owned for 25 years and 6 months now. Margaret waits on the porch, rocking chair, glass of lemonade, watching for him like she does every night. "How was your walk?" He climbs the steps, kisses her cheek. "Peaceful." He smiles. Actually peaceful this time. She hugs him, holds on a little longer than usual. She still does that. Every night, since it happened. "I'm proud of you, Byron." "For what?" "For not letting them make you bitter. For taking something terrible and turning it into something that might actually change the world." He holds her back, breathes in the scent of her hair. "I had help. A lot of help." Inside, the television murmurs. News coverage of the new training program. Mandatory for all officers. Named after the case. The Coleman Protocol. Change. Real change. Happening. Byron looks at his wife. At his home. At the street where everything happened. "They tried to humiliate me, Margaret. They tried to make me feel small. Make me feel like I didn't belong in my own neighborhood. Like I was less than human." He pauses. "Instead, they made me loud." She takes his hand. "The whole country heard you, Byron." Maybe that's enough. Maybe it's not. He squeezes her fingers. But at least now they're listening. He looks out the window. Down Maple Drive, where 2 rookie cops once laughed at a black man walking home. They're not laughing anymore. And somewhere out there, tonight, another 62-year-old black man walks home. Unmolested. Unquestioned. Safe. Because sometimes the worst night of your life becomes the reason things finally change. Byron Coleman closes the door. Tomorrow, more work, more cases, more justice. But tonight, peace. Earned.